Hello Internet, welcome to Games Done Wrongish. So today I thought I would post this video of me running a Mythic +4 of Neltharions Lair with a random pub group that I picked up sometime over the weekend. This is the first fight against Rockmora. Rockmora is very simple. He does this choke and dust move that you can see here right now, that the tank just needs to move out of. This appears whenever you kill one of these little skitters that he spawns from time to time. And the other ability really is that he jumps up and down in the air like this, and he does these razor shards on the ground. Now if you're walking these, they're razor shards, so they cut your feet and they damage you. But when he does the razor shard, he also kills any skitters. So if you're not able to gather them all, and they're running around attacking your healer and DPS, then he's jump up in the air and his razor shards will finish them off for you anyway, so you don't have to worry about them that much. Pretty simple fight, over pretty quickly. Can get a little tough later on in the higher mythics if people are moving around on the razor shards and if the ads get out of control, but generally not. I mean, it's probably one of the easiest boss fights in the whole game, to be honest, of all the dungeons. Then, as you're moving on, you do need to defeat 100 enemy forces. Made a good start of this before Rockmora. I haven't skipped that just to save time, I just forgot to press record. I only remembered once we got to the first boss, so yeah, we was at 26%. So I'm going to pick up a few ads around here, like these breakers, and these Stone breakers and the rockbound pelters. The pelters are a bit annoying because they do jump away and then they just hit from range. They just throw rocks, well, pelt rocks. You know, that's what they're called. So and that's what they do. The Stone breakers are a bit easier. They will stay on the tank. So well, easier for a tank. I mean, as long as they're attacking me and not the DPS, then we all have a good time. There is these abilities, these avalanche they do, that put cracks in the ground, and if the DPS don't move out of them, then they take a lot of damage. You'll see here that one or two of the players do get caught out, myself included, no doubt at some point. But again, at this level, it's not too bad. You see the cracks in the ground, and if the players stay in them, they do quite a bit of damage. The pelters as well will just throw at random players. They don't care who has the aggro, so the tank can't really control who the pelters are throwing at. They do just turn and throw at random players, so you know, it can be tough in here for a healer, especially if the tank pulls too much at once. I try not to, just pulling 2 or 3 of the mobs at once. We were not pressed for time on this one. We do it quite easily, to be honest, so there's no need to rush and pull everything. I think, yeah, in this in the level 4 that we're doing here, the affix is raging, so all of the trash in this dungeon, when they get down to 30%, I think it is, 30% health, then they enrage. So every bit of trash enrages. We should be able to see it on here, like whichever one I'm targeting here, just above my action bars. The one on the right is the one I'm targeting, so when they get down to around 30%, they should get another buff anytime now. There it is, that bear buff, I would imagine. So that's them enraging at a certain point, and just check for it on these as well. And basically then they do more damage and, you know, get a bit of haste and whatnot. They attack faster, attack stronger. But again, Mythic 4 +4, not really that big of a deal. Not hard to deal with. It's only one affix and a +4, so nothing to worry about at all, really. You see the damage dealers did come a bit close to the bone there. That's because they're all enraging at once. They're kicking off their abilities, their avalanche and things, which are stronger at that point when everything's down to around 30%. You're probably better off, you know, at the higher levels, picking these off one at a time, so not everything's enraging at once. But again, it's just +4, so we're just cleaving everything down at once. Not always the best tactic when you have raging going on, but yeah, it's doable in here, no doubt doable, not a problem really. So the last 2 bits of trash here, and then we go on to the next boss, which is Ulrog, the Crag Shaper. So this guy, he has not really that many abilities. He does put he does cast ability on the ranged, or the players at range, where, oh, it's Sunder Defense, yeah. So the Sunder is on the tank. So basically you just need to make sure you have your mitigation up, because he will hit quite a bit harder whilst you're sundered. And that's the other ability there, where the hands come out of the ground and they basically clap on to the range, the people at range, and they just need to sidestep out of that, really, not walk into the hands. If you walk into a hand, then you take the damage anyway, so you need to like try and find a gap between the front and the left hand, so like diagonal gap, walk through there, and you should be okay. And this bit and the bellowing idol, so the boss turned into one of these idols. You have to kind of follow him around, just like a ball and cup game where they're moved around. Just try and keep an eye on which one he was, and if you destroy that one, then you get him straight away. There's the hands again, clapping around the damage dealers. You need to try and make their ways through. You have more of these bellowing idols, which have next to no health. Whilst the boss is up, you can take those down fairly quickly. And that's it. It's just rinse, repeat, stay out of those hands. The tank, use mitigation when he uses his Sunder ability. Easy kill again. Moving on. Now, where are we? We're at 60% trash, so we need to kill a few more. So we're gonna get these here, these pelters and breakers, and just the basic trash in here. Take these 3 down. Now, I thought at this point, after these 3, that we was gonna have enough. So I was ready to move on into the next room. But I'd seen this warlock going into the water. I thought there was a chest there, or maybe an extra boss or something. But then I thought, it's Mythic Plus, we're not gonna go get World Quest bosses in a Mythic Plus. So I thought, I'll carry on. They'll just come to me eventually when they realise, it's better to just get the dungeon done rather than we'll go hunting for chests or extra bosses. But as it turns out, they obviously knew better than I did that we wasn't on target for the trash. We didn't have enough. We did need some extra, so they pull in the Nashes, the kind of alligators, out of the water there, and they've dragged them all over to me, which I realised, and then obviously gather them all together and take the threat to try and stop the damage dealers from getting any more hurt. Again, one was a little bit close to the bottom there, so it's a good thing I did notice what had gone on. Take them. This Death Knight Lothros, is taking a bit of a pounding pretty much all the time for some reason. Maybe it's just low geared. I mean, it's only level 4, and this is the best way to gear characters if you've just made an alt, so that's probably the case. Just jumped onto an alt, run a few Mythic Pluses, get some gear, get yourself into get a raid spot with your guild and whatnot, and then away you go. A good new character on the way. Now, onto this boss. So, Naraxus. Simple again, he just basically casts a bile. He just spits bile all over the ground. You need to try and not stand in it, but when you've got 3 melee like we have here, he'll pretty much put it all over the melee area, so it's difficult not to stand it. And he also does like a spitting bile in the back there, which the tank, I'll keep turning around here to take a look at, because I've got to figure out which one of these came up last, because at a certain point he'll do a spiked tongue, which I thought he was doing now, and I think I get my 2 melee DPS killed here in a moment, because I was not paying there. So the next spiked tongue is coming up. I need to run away in one of those green pools in order to not get eaten. I go a little bit too early here, although those guys are stood in the toxic. There, they were stood in one of those green things and didn't get out. I don't know if it was that or because I moved too far away. But anyway, there's the spiked tongue, so I'm in here. There's not really much else I can do. There's no more, so when this runs out, it does devour me. Like that could have, in a higher Mythic Plus, that would have killed me. That would have been pretty much a wipe. Although his health was pretty low, but still, could have been a wipe. It was close, but yeah. The 2 melee did seem to be stood in the crap in front of him. I'm not sure if it was that or whether I'd moved too far away and the boss got them as well. That's a possibility. But they got themselves killed, and I didn't have enough of the green pools to stay out of the the worm. But luckily we got through that one. Now, we're now at 88% enemy forces we need to kill. So it was close, I mean, we have enough here. The Warlock's pulled, so I need to get over, but he's got his elemental there on one. So I just leave his elemental on it. Don't just, let it stay on that. Saves me some hassle. And gets his elemental out of the way when it finally kills it for the next fight. How the elemental survived. It was stunned, but it survived. So yeah, where are we now? We're 92% enemy forces, so on with this Ember Husk, and that should get us to roughly around, what, I don't know, 96. So we know there that did about 4%, and we've got 2 more of these husks and 2 other adds, so 4, 8, I don't know, 10, 12%, we only need 4%, we've got enough here now, definitely. Maybe we didn't need those alligators at the time, maybe we did. It's better to have more than not enough anyway. There's many a times I've done this specific mythic and we've not had enough. We've killed the boss and we've had to go back, and sometimes running a lot further back than we should have to get the extra trash we need to be able to finish the key on time. But we're okay here. I mean, we've got best part of 6 minutes left to do it with a +3 upgrade to the key for the person that used the key. However, here on this boss, I do disconnect. Now this guy, he basically does a landslide, knocks the tank back, then does a molten crash, which you need to use your mitigation for again to stop taking a big hit. See, I've DC'd here, which not a good time. So you'll see the video does skip, and then I come back, and Andy's pretty much dead. So he does that. He also does like crystal spikes on the rig, which you have to hide behind those walls there, but you won't see that now because, like I say, I disconnected, came back, he was almost dead. The 2 melee were dead again, but we did it in time and it was done. Yeah, so that was that. Nice and easy. Took us 15 minutes. Could have been much better. As I say, I disconnected at the worst possible time. If you like this video, please consider watching another. 2 suggestions will be on screen now. Also, if you have not subscribed already, please do so by clicking the icon in the middle of this screen. Every view and subscription will go a long way to helping the channel grow, and in turn will result in more content for you. Thank you, and until the next time, goodbye.